Hi friends, this is Chris Beckman. I'm the corporate chaplain for Ebenezer, and I want to welcome you to this set of devotions and reflections that we're creating during this time of COVID-19. It's a chance for us to try some new creative ways to connect with folks, and we hope you're enjoying these moments of reflection during this time. We're also creating a series of worship services that come out weekly. And if you're wondering how to connect with those, reach out to your activity director or the executive director in your community. Today's reflection is number 10 in our series, and I gave it kind of provocative title, and I'll give it to you here. It's called, I Found It Along the Roadside. Yes, you heard that correctly. I found it along the roadside. For those of you who know me, and I've been around Ebenezer for a while and did much of my career down here in Burnsville where we're taping these devotions, most of them know that I can be on the thrifty side, even the cheap side. And you don't really want to be behind me in a vehicle when I'm driving along the road. Because if I see a 5-gallon bucket alongside the road, I will stop. I've even been known to stop for a bungee cord. You can't let something like that go by. And if I see a 2x4 along the road, I'm going to pick it up and take it home and use my chop saw to cut it into pieces and burn in my sauna. Yeah, thrifty, I'm cheap, I'm a recycler. But I also consider myself the biblical term gleaner. How many of us have seen that passage in Ruth where they talk about leaving the gleanings for the poor and those in need? Do you know what the gleanings are? In biblical times, when they would harvest a field, they were taught by biblical decree to leave the gleanings for the poor. So anything that fell to the ground, the corn or the wheat, the grain that fell on the earth, was left for the poor to come behind and to pick it up. The gleanings. I had an example here the other day, while not being poor, but I am a recycler, and I can't really let anything go by that I see go to waste. I was behind one of our communities the other day, and I'm not going to mention which site it was, and I was there because I noticed a large dumpster in the backyard, and I can't help but look in the back of a dumpster when I see one. And you know what I found? I found a desk that they were throwing out. It wasn't in great shape, but as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to try something. You see, my wife has been wanting a bedside table in our room, and she's wanted something that's small and with drawers. And I thought, aha, I'm going to take that desk and I'm going to cut the legs short, and I'm going to put a new tabletop on top of it, and I'm going to build a shelf underneath. And then I'm going to paint it all white. Well, it took me about 30 hours to take that desk, which someone had thrown in the dumpster, to cut the legs off, to put a brand new top on it, and to build a shelf on the bottom, and then to paint it white. I was so proud of it. And I hauled it up into the bedroom and placed it in its place, and my wife didn't like it. I was a little disappointed. But I also thought, maybe it'll be a gift to someone else. So I took that table, put it outside on the curb where most of our other stuff goes, and not within 2 hours, a guy walking his dog went by and picked it up and started walking with it home. And I happened to be going by him at the time that he was walking by. And I noticed the grin on his face. And I kept the secret that I had created that thing that he was taking home with him. So dear friends, during this time of COVID-19, look around your place. There might be projects and things that you are wanting to recycle or to reuse. And it might be this wonderful creative time where you get to repurpose something or to reuse something or simply to have gratefulness for what you have. And Even if you create something beautiful that you think is wonderful, or you've been holding on to something that you think is valuable and your partner may not, it's a wonderful time to share, to give something to your kids who have been asking for something, or to finally get around to that double wedding ring quilt that you've been eager to make. Now's the time. And even if the creative project that you come to, this creative using of the gleanings that were left behind, even if your wife or your husband says, that's junk, get rid of it, it may end up being a wonderful gift that you can share with others. My grandma was a wonderful user of that philosophy. And whenever we would go to see her, she would say, do you see anything around the house that you want? And she would always put our name in tape on the back side of that object. Well, maybe, dear friends, we can even take it a step further. If someone sees something that you have and you think, I need to get rid of that, maybe it's that time to say, you know, my kid has been asking for this. It's time to let go of it. Or that quilt that I've been working on for years, it's time to finish it. It's time to get to that woodworking project or that creative thing that gives me life and hope. And maybe, just maybe, even if our partner thinks it's trash, the gift that you might share with another might be the most beautiful thing. Thanks for listening, and blessings on this journey.